Former Prime Minister Gordon Brown has accused Fujitsu of misleading ministers over the Horizon IT project. The flawed rollout led to serious inconsistencies in the accounts of hundreds of post office branch managers. Mr. Brown was Chancellor in 1998 when the government reportedly considered ditching the project due to fears it was faulty. He's been speaking to our business editor, Joel Hills.
Disclosures to the public inquiry show that in December 1998, the Labour government was seriously considering ditching Fujitsu's Horizon IT project because there were concerns it was seriously flawed. The Treasury was split. You were Chancellor at the time. What was your view?
Well, let me say first of all about the Post Office, that those people who suffered grievously at the hands of maladministration and of course not grappling with the problem that was clearly known to them at the time when they were making the wrong decisions. I do feel great sympathy, and I think the levels of compensation will probably have to be higher to take into account of all the legal costs as well as the mental turmoil that people face. So I hope we can get justice for all the people who are affected. I've got to say that this was not an issue that I was dealing with at the Treasury. It was a business department issue, and I know there were issues about the contract with Fujitsu. But I was not involved, and therefore I can't comment, and I haven't been invited to give evidence to the inquiry.
Take us back to December 1998. You were not involved in any discussions because the Treasury was involved here. The Treasury was split. Alistair Darling wanted to cancel the project. So did Jeff Muglen, Tony Blair's advisor. Peter Mandelson was worried about upsetting Fujitsu. With hindsight, do you wish you'd been more involved? Do you wish you'd pushed the council?
Well, of course, the government of the time should have done better at the beginning. But the problems of this contract only became known after 2010. Let's be honest. All the problems about the individuals affected only became known a lot later.
Well, that's not entirely clear from the disclosures. It seemed obvious to some in government that the Horizon IT project was an accident waiting to happen. It wasn't obvious to you.
I'm talking about the individual cases and the court cases and everything else, and where the damage was done to individuals and their livelihoods. But I cannot say that I could look back on the Treasury documentation of this and find that that it was the Treasury that made the decision on this. It wasn't.
David Cameron's called the Horizon scandal an appalling miscarriage of justice. Anyone who's been in government should be extremely sorry about what has happened. Do you feel sorry?
I feel sorry that people have lost their livelihoods. They've lost years of their life. Some people actually have been driven to attempted suicide or suicide as a result of what's happened.
You feel in any way responsible?
I feel that all of us who were involved in any respect in this have got to take some responsibility for this, but equally at the same time, I think we've got to distinguish between those people who knew there was a problem and didn't act on it, and those people who negotiated the contract in the first place.
Should Fujitsu pay compensation?
Of course the company should pay compensation. You cannot be a contractor to the government and hope to get any more contracts, which I think they still have, unless you take responsibility for the failures of the actions that you've been responsible for. And clearly the government was, or ministers and officials were misled about this. The Post Office was clearly misled, but of course you cannot excuse the Post Office for not actually acting when they knew there was a real problem affecting individuals.
The Chief Executive and the Chief Operating Officer of Fujitsu are here at Davos. Will you be telling them, if you see them, that they should be paying compensation?
If they were to become close to me, I would make it clear to them that I think Fujitsu had to take responsibility for what they have done. But the Post Office has still got to answer for its failures. And let's remember just the human suffering that has been caused as a result of this, and we should make sure that we put measures in place that this can never happen again.